Hi there and welcome to Lorena's Labyrinth. My name's Anna Pirelli. The comments that you see here are my views, beliefs, opinions, and sometimes they are not even my fully formed views, beliefs, and opinions. However, they are my understandings. Please do retain an open mind and reflect on any of the content and your comfort levels. If your views differ, please feel free to leave a comment. Also remember, it is possible to disagree in respectful ways. My way is not necessarily your way and vice versa. You might also find that some of the content on this playlist in regard to spiritual or universal laws, it resonates with you, meaning it feels right to you, while other laws may not feel right or they may not feel comfortable. If this is the case, the information is either not right for you or it is not right for you right now, and it might never be right for you at any given time. It really doesn't matter. As an earthy and practical person, I can put my hand up with all honesty and say that I have at different times had the same feelings about some of the content in here. And with some of them, I still have a level of skepticism within my viewpoints, but I choose to retain an open mind about the things that I don't fully understand for a few reasons. Firstly, because I believe it would be supreme arrogance to think that we all know all of the answers while we have a body. And because what is right for one of us is not necessarily right or suitable for all of us, and I choose to respect the differences. Please do leave your opinions, beliefs. Feel free to argue the points in a respectful way with any of the content on the slides and even my interpretations. And if you feel that you can add clarity around some of the content, we would all love to see it. Thank you. For now, though, let's explore the laws.
All creation is governed by law. The principles that operate in the outer universe, discoverable by scientists, are called natural laws. But there are subtler laws that rule the hidden spiritual planes and the inner realm of consciousness. Contained within these laws, or conditions, is the true nature of matter. Knowledge of these laws has an effect upon the mental urges. Mind is the builder. Stay in full mindfulness of the application of universal law as related to self and to others, and know that in love all life is given, in love all things move. In giving one attains, in giving one acquires. In giving, love becomes the fulfillment of desire, guided and directed in the ways that bring the more perfect knowledge of self as related to the universal, all-powerful, all-guiding, all divine influence in life. Love is life. When we go back, merge with the God source, in some infinitesimal but profound way, we expand the mind of God. Our higher self always points the best and most perfect way, and it is ours to listen and choose or reject what we hear. It does not blame, but patiently tries again to show the perfect way, the loving way. All of creation pushes forth. We are ever becoming. Identity ever remains. Universal Law number 53. The Law of Magnetism. This is the law which produces the unifying of a personality, and though it is an expression of lunar force, is of a higher order than the law of physical sex. The three aspects are the stage of high intellectuality, or of artistic attainment. Second is the stage of discipleship. Third is the stage of treading the path.
So I think that we can agree that when we talk about unification of the personality, we're actually referring to balancing the masculine and feminine polarities that lie within each of us, and at the same time aligning our spirit with the Creator, so that we've got that full mind-body spiritual connection. And we also, I think, would agree that we know that when a person is treading the path, it means that they're walking in the earthly life in accordance with the divine plan, that divine blueprint that we agreed to before we were born into this current lifetime, which of course some people call, embodied. Actually, there's any number of terms. I'm not going to worry about it right now. What does it mean then to be an expression of a lunar force, and how on earth does this relate as an association with sex? Well, let's have a little think about that. In the first instance, I'm absolutely not an astronomer, so I went and Googled because I can, and I learned that when you're looking up lunar force, you'll probably get shown a pair of shoes, which was not what I was looking for. So I added the word astronomy to it, and this is where I got a bit of a definition, if you like, one that my brain can handle. It's the lunar force from an astronomical perspective. It relates to gravity and the moon cycle. So we're talking about the tides. So I guess we can say or assume that the lunar force is a force of nature that absolutely cannot be held back, right? It's going to happen regardless, which makes it a pretty impressive law, because if the magnetism, or if the law of magnetism is stronger than a lunar force, I think we can all say that is pretty strong. But how does this link with physical sex, or with the word sex? I just thought of something with me pronouncing that as loudly as I did. I'm not sure about YouTube censorship, so I'm not sure if that's actually going to get me censored and I'll have to redo this video. I'll worry about that later. I'll see if it works. If it doesn't, I'll let you know. So given the inclusion of the word discipleship, which refers to the spiritual or religious person or aspirant, and the followers who strive to act in godlike ways, who are willing to bow to the Creator, I think, okay, this is a think, but I'm not 100% sure, but I suspect we might actually be referring to the Tantra masters. My understanding of Tantra is that the masters, who you could call disciples if that was what you're into, could harness, or can, actually there's no could about it, they can harness the energy as a means of connecting with the divine and blowing open all their chakras. The difference between the religious Tantra masters and the other people that use Tantra for the S gratification is that Tantra masters, in the first instance, they're not harnessing that energy because they want to be personally gratified at a base level of, that was pretty mind-blowing, wasn't it? They're not doing it for that. Their aim is to actually hold that tension for as long as possible, and my understanding is that they can hold it for about 3 weeks at a time. The idea being that they give themselves, when they do release, and by the way, there's no physical touching with this. This is all energy that they work with, as I understand. And they do it in a meditative state. So they bring down the energy, they hold it and sustain it for as long as possible. That means that they are going throughout their days and still sustaining that energy. And the idea is that when it is released, which could be in a couple of weeks' time, because that's, like for most of us that are trying to meditate, when we start meditating in the Western world, we might be able to lucky to hold the focus for, a couple of minutes at a time. As we meditate more and more often, we can sustain that focus of attention or that absence, just being in the meditative state. We can hold it for longer and longer. Well, the same with Tantra, except that they're holding Tantra energy. So my understanding is, and somebody is going to correct me, and I'm fine with this, my understanding is that they hold the energy, the Kundalini it's called, that they hold that Kundalini for anywhere up to about 3 weeks, and that's the sign of a master if they can do that. Then when they do release it, they release it in one extremely intense big O. Okay, so this is the YouTube censorship. And the idea of the release is that when the big O happens, all of the chakras are blown open and they able to be pure channels of divine messages. So this is what they're aiming for, that purity of channel connection and communication. That's my understanding. Now, I must make the point that I learned all of that about 20 years ago, so I'm drawing on memory. So there's obviously going to be room for me to have not recalled properly. I haven't done a Google on this to check my knowledge if it's still correct. What else? I guess the only other thing I could say to this law is that I believe, in regard to the law of magnetism, I suspect that what it's saying is, as we evolve and enlighten our auras, that it's inevitable. We're all going there. We're all going to have to open up our auras and get this divine connection and communication happening. Just so you know, I'm not really going to be talking about the big S subject or the big O subject on here because it is YouTube, and I really don't want to have us shut down. But I do want to acknowledge at some point in time, in a very discreet way. Sorry, I have to keep coughing at the moment. I do want to acknowledge anyway, going forward in a discreet way, that the S energy is actually a form of passion. And for those people that have a very high drive, they're actually, particularly Scorpios, are encouraged to convert that into being able to channel healing energy. Just something to think about, because it's actually passion, right? It's just got a different name, or it's passion by a different name. So, my friends, that is me for today. I must say that I have found it a wee bit interesting digging back into the memory bank. But either way, if I haven't formed a conclusion, which I certainly haven't, please feel free to put up your own thoughts and comments and that kind of stuff, and let me know what you might interpret as of the words that are put up here with the law, and even feedback on some of the thoughts I put forward. In the meantime, have a wonderful, glorious day. Catch you later. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.